So I wanted to take a little time today to go over something that's a little confusing for folks regarding the custom shading that's available to you when you use your Lowrance unit and you have a chart capable of doing custom shading like the CMAP chart. So what I've done here is I've used the small pond that I live on, and I've shaded from anything greater than 5 feet to up to 10 feet in yellow, and then from 10 feet and anything deeper than that in red. So it gets a little confusing, so I wanted to step through it, but we'll go into the menu, we'll go to more options, we'll go to chart options, and you have to scroll up to shading right here. And you can see I currently have depth 1 and depth 2 that I customized right now. If I take and turn off depth 2, you'll see that that particular customized shading goes away. And if I zoom in, get back over here, you'll see that these are 1 foot contours. So I got 8, 9, starting at 10 feet, and anything greater than 10 feet I have shaded in red, and I'll show you how I did that. And here's where the confusion comes in sometimes, but once you do it a few times, it that confusion will go away for you. So more options, chart options, scroll up, shading, and here we'll just leave depth 1 on so I can show you how I shaded that area. We're going to drop into custom, and you can see here we have depth 1 and depth 2. So if you take a look, what I did is I created these points by using add point right here. So I created 0 after I deleted all the ones from that come with the unit. So I started over here with a clean slate. So I created 0, 4, 8, and 9. And I'll go through why I did that in a second. So I'm mainly concerned about shading areas between 10 and 15 feet and anything greater. So what I've done here is with the first one, 0, 4, 8, and 9, I've dropped in there, and it doesn't matter what color you choose because I set the opacity, all right, the brightness of that color basically on the chart to 0. All right, so it's just not going to be shaded at all except for the default blue. All right, so cancel that. I did the same thing here, right, for 4, and this is where you would drop in and change your depth right here. All right, so again, doesn't matter what color because I have the opacity set to 0. And I did the same thing for 8 and 9. Then you'll notice right here at 10, looks like orange in this video, but that's really red. Anyway, beginning at 10 feet, I chose the color red, and I made sure that the opacity or the brightness, the shading of that particular color was at the max to 100, I'm sorry. All right, and then I did the same thing at 15, same color because I wanted to shade between 10 and 15, set the opacity to 100%. And then I didn't have to add another point because this particular lake doesn't go any deeper than 15 feet. But I could continue on, I think, up to a total of 20 points if I'm not mistaken. All right, so that's customized depth shading for that particular depth. And again, if I zoom in and I get the lake back in, you can see that 8's right there, 9, 10, and anything above is shaded in red, where the rest of it has no shading other than the default blue shading that you're used to seeing. Then I decided, in addition to that, I wanted to go in and shade from anything greater than 5 feet up to this 10-foot level in yellow. All right, so I had those 2 different depth ranges set. So I'll show you that next. Again, more options, chart options, scroll up to shading. We'll turn depth 2 back on because I already customized it. And there you can see from 5 to that 10 feet, I chose to shade in yellow. All right, and again, I'll show you how I did that. So instead of looking at depth 1 this time, we're going to look at depth 2, and you can see what I did there. Again, I added those points, so between 0 and 4 feet, you can choose any color you want and set the opacity to 0. Then I came to 5 feet, I chose the color yellow and I set the opacity to 100%. 5 feet, color yellow, opacity 100%. Sorry about that. All right, and then I did up to 9 feet because I chose up to 9 feet because in the other customized palette I started at 10, so I didn't want to override any of the coloration there. So again, I chose yellow with an opacity of 100%, and if I was to come down here, again, that's the range all the way between 5 up to 10 feet I want shaded in yellow. So I added this point here of 9 feet. All right, now if we go back to the map, again, you can see from 5 feet all the way to 10 feet, all right, on the contour lines. And again, the contour lines is where that depth change starts. So right at 5 feet and deeper, all the way up to 10, I shaded in yellow. And then from 10, in my case, anything higher than that up to 15 and higher, in this case it would have been shaded in red. All right, so again, not too terribly confusing, but a lot of people do get confused when they go to do this. And of course, if you have a lake chart with, you know, depths ranging from 0 to 100 feet and you want to shade depths in particular where you feel that a particular fish that you're targeting may be at that time of the year, you can save yourself, whoops, sorry about that, I'm in the basement, no GPX fix. So as I was saying, you can save yourself covering a lot of water if you've already identified where the fish that you're fishing for are holding at by shading your chart with this particular feature. Hope that helps.